What's up, everybody? It's Chuck Creekmur, aka Jigsaw, here with the legendary one, Styles P the Ghost.
What up, family?
What's good?
Chilling, man.
How you?
As always.
Good
bro.
to have
Good.
you, bro.
Good
Yeah. Word. So for those that don't know, we kind of go way back. Like I did my second cover story for the Source magazine in 2003. I mean, it seems so long ago now, but I spent a lot of time with Locks, D-Block at the time. We were up in Yonkers, like kind of like all over the place.
Yeah.
I barely remember it. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I know you. Yeah, we went all over the place. But it was cool. I tell people this story all the time, but when I was in college still, I'm from Delaware originally, but I used to tell people I was from Yonkers because
same kind of area though.
Yeah, I went to school with Norris, Newerville. Remember him? Remember
that's my partner in the Yonkers stuff.
Oh,
brother,
for real?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my man back in the day. So I was kind of too cool for school at the time. So I didn't want nobody to challenge me on where I was from. So I was like, yeah, I'm from Yonkers. Nobody questioned me. But anyway, man, I want to get to you. First of all, I want to say, man, I appreciate you, man. Like,
Thank you, King.
Last year was a phenomenal year for you.
Yeah.
I was raving all over the place. You dropped 4 albums.
Yeah.
And one with Dave East.
Yeah. I dropped 2 solos, an EP, and a collab with East.
Right. I mean, first things first, man. Like last year was an incredible year overall.
Yeah.
But I was really stressing you and Royce the 5'9" as really the bar of excellence for reasons, longevity as well as quality. First, talk about that. Like, what keeps you so passionate to crank out that level of work, that quality of work?
I'm surrounded by great MCs with my partners, Sheik and Jadakiss, of course. Yeah. So I get to go in the studio every day while they work, and I'm bouncing off their things. I have a son that's into music. Okay. So I always hearing beats in the house and rhymes in the house, regardless. So it's just staying in that zone, and I like to consider myself a craftsman. Like, you know what I mean, when it comes to my craft. Like I try to dedicate myself to it. I base pretty much my outside life and the things I do still pretty much a source back to my craft. Like you know what I mean? So for me it's just if you say you're gonna do something, do it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm an all gas, no brakes kind of guy. Right. Yeah. And then I got a motto on my head: no brakes and no brakes. No brakes. No brakes and no brakes. Like, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I do take both and I do slow down, but when I'm in my zone, it's no brakes and no brakes. Like, you know what I mean? Just go and don't stop. Yeah. Steve Harvey just talked about you can't get 8 hours of sleep. I don't know if you saw that on the internet. I heard it. I didn't log on and to really get to the nitty gritty of what the story was. He was basically saying you can't take any breaks, and then people were going back and forth like, "Nah, you gotta sleep. You gotta rest your body to get the best out of yourself." I think it becomes a balance for each person of where they're at in their life and what particular spot they're trying to get to. Because sometimes you have to rest to get the best out of you. Because you do crash and burn. There's times I have not taking a break and not knowing how to slow down, and then I don't know when I'm really tired, groggy, not all the way. And I maintain a plant-based diet. I juice a lot, take my vitamins, but no rest after a while. It gets to your body, like, you know what I mean? Sure. I mean, when I was younger, I was the same way. I would work on like 4 hours of sleep. And after a while, I was overweight for one. I was getting terrible headaches, like migraines. I had to just no light, nothing. And then I relaxed a little bit, and all of it disappeared. I started trying to and I don't get 8 hours though. It's very rare for me to get 8 hours, so I try to break it up. It's hard for me to sleep really, honestly, over 4 hours. My body's just but I've learned to relax and rest there. Sit there and rest, and then try to go back to sleep, or just try to be in a restful state. So when I get up and work, I'm getting the best out of my job and my abilities. You take naps? Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a stoner anyway, so after a while I crash. So that's why I think, especially if you don't get the eight hours, you definitely have to incorporate taking a nap when you could. And sometimes, like between a hard workout and smoking, sometimes I just go down.
Right.
Midday, I'll be in the studio, I'll be working, and I say, put my hoodie over my head and lay down for a few. But yeah, I believe in naps. I believe in rest. I believe that's a 50-50 split depending on what type of person you are and where your mind is. Like, you know what I mean? I've been at that time where there's no sleep on. I'm not. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But as a health person, I have to tell you that's not a wise. Right. It's not a wise decision. You'll crash eventually.
Yeah, definitely. I'll push back on it a little bit. None of us get 8 hours, but you should you need that rest.
You definitely need that rest.
Before we get into your regimen, health-wise, and the juice bar and things, I was surprised that you dropped another album so quick, and this is a full album.
Yeah.
Give people the rundown on the album and why you dropped so soon after the other 4.
I like when I stay in work mode. I like to stay in work mode. I work real hard, and I try to take a vacay or a trip somewhere, clear my mind, absorb, some new ideas, new feelings, and then I get back to work. And with this one, last year with the work I put out, a lot of people was referring to me as a GOAT, and I always feel like the greatest of all time is for different strokes for different folks, and there's more room for one. So, and I'm a wolf. Yeah, like I always reference that I'm a wolf. So, I was trying to get used to people calling me a GOAT. Yeah. So I just woke up one day like, nah, I'm the ghost of all times.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a wolf, a GOAT killer. So I just try to put my little play on it with a little science, and really just staying on my job. Like I said, I'm around great MCs all the time, and being with my son Noah working. I want to make sure I get it out my system because I feel he's a great artist. He produces, he raps, and he engineers himself. So he's a multi-talented kid. Okay. So I'm a young man, be 21 end of the month. Okay. So I really want to see his career blossom and just kind of be in the cut. And plus all the other artists we have on D Block, from Mox, Nightlife, Nino Moon, Whispers, Chris Rivers, and just everybody.
Chris Rivers is on D Block?
Well, he works with me. Okay. That's my young fella. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? He's on his own thing, but he's D Block fan. Kid Son J Wan's working. Okay. We have a lot of I'm probably missing a few names, I'm still don't know, but we have a lot of talent that I want to see blossom, and I want to be able to sit back and watch them rock and not be too thirsty to do what I do. Yeah, that's a good thing. What I'm saying? I don't want to feel like when I'm doing it, I want to have it out my system the way they feel like, damn, he ain't really paying attention to me because he really want to do it too much. And I still have a lot of me, so I feel like and I don't really want to be I want to be coming off the bench soon, like, you know what I'm saying? I go back and forth a lot with, like, I love rhyming, and it's like an addiction for me, to be honest. It's like therapy for me, like, you know what I mean? And I get in that booth, I go there, it gives me a ability to be able to say what I want, how I want, and give different messages to different people. Like, part of it is artistic, part of it is therapeutic, part of it is messaging, part of it is aggression. It's a whole batch of things mixed in. But I also want to write more books. Proving myself. We write screenplays, we write scripts, we write longs, we write shorts. I'm looking to do that. I have Juices for Life. My wife and myself and a couple of my homies, we have the Pharmacy for Life.
Pharmacy?
Yeah, with a F-A-R-M-A-C-Y for life. We sell black seed oil, oil of oregano, sour sap, Irish moss, CBD, things of that nature. So it's a lot I want to do in life. So one thing when you're an MC, it's hard to just get away from that. Some days I really don't want to rhyme, like, you know what I mean? I wish I could just have 2 weeks to my brain, to myself, without somebody saying something or looking at something and thinking, oh shit, this transfers to that. Like, it's natural with me. So if it comes to a point where you say, I want to really work hard and get it out my system, and just relax. I ain't saying I'm a quit, but I don't want to be. I want to do a lot, like, especially with filming books, like,
How is it? I thought about you. Recently there's been an explosion of black businesses. Across the world, I say here statewide, but we're focusing on us more, and women in particular are really the largest group growing as business owners.
Yeah.
But I like the way you move right now because you said a lot just then, but talk about becoming a owner, a business person, an entrepreneur. Most artists stick to the artist role.
Yeah.
And
I think it's important for you to set a foundation that other people that you deal with from your family and your close friends or people that you think are great in business or have great energy to have another outlet to work and to build something. Like, I eventually want to say, I aspire to be a great man as far as when it comes to building. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whether I hit my goals or not, as long as I aspire and give it 110%, I can settle. But with that being said, with people coming up behind us saying, all right, we're from the hood, we're from a certain background, but we're trying to be better, we're trying to grow in business. Yeah, we understand where we came from, but we're not trying to be. We are becoming businessmen and entrepreneurs. We are businessmen and entrepreneurs. We have to leave behind something or create something that's gonna. My son and his son will take it to the next level, and they'll think wider than me. They're broader than me. For my personal and my family, it's always like the next. My mom did better than her parents did, and she didn't have parents, so she was forced to do what she had to do. I've done better than my mom. My son will have to do better than me. His son will have to do better than him. But that being said, we have to have things set aside that we can build and say we're building something. So even if you're the start or one of the starts of the builders, you say, hey, I'll play my part in building something. So I think with Juices for Life is just more so, to be honest with you, is I didn't plan for it to flourish fast and have 4 stores within 8 to 9 years. My partners and myself, is not just me, but I think what we brought to the neighborhood and the idea of just our cause is to bring something in the neighborhood so each kid coming in have an idea what to do at home, and each mom, dad, aunt, grandmother, like we tell you, take a menu, you don't got to come back. But as long as you spread the feeling better at home and adjusting yourself to giving back to yourself, you'll start to feel better, and that energy will spread out throughout the house. So if I start thinking and taking better care of myself, even the G's in the hood, they respect that and understand that. Like, if it's mentality, I just want the best, I want to be the best me I could be, that energy spreads. Like, tough guys, soft guys, smart guys, dumb guys, whatever it is, anyone can really understand the energy of just wanting to be better and being in a better place to feed your family. Because at the end of the day, that's the most gangster shit, to take care of your family, take care of yourself, and spread some kind of wellness or information that's going to be useful throughout your community. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, I approach it, and we approach it at Juices for Life and Pharmacy for Life with the idea of we're trying to build something that we not going to be alive to see it where we want it at, but it's going great so far. But it's for the youth and the community and embrace, because it's bigger than Juices for Life. It's for every man in this room, every woman who's seeing this, everybody who's watching it, is think, all right, we have to implement something healthy in our household, first and foremost, ourselves first and foremost, which leads to the household, which leads to the friends and family, which leads to the community. It's a process. So I think when we all think like that, because we all have flaws, we all have a good side, a bad side, or ups and downs, but as long as we start something where we're thinking on a wiser path and just a little bit out the box, I think it's pretty cool, especially because we in hip hop, and it's a braggadocious sport. And the reality is, everybody outside of it who's not getting the money and listening doesn't live that lifestyle, which we often forget because you're on your phone all day, and images and how people appear to make things are not exactly how they are all the time. So with that mindset, is just saying we need a foundation and just something to give back. To say, all right, here's a little tool that you can use in your toolbox kit to maybe get you a little ahead if you focus and do it right.
That's beautiful, man. I mean, the reason I left BK, Brooklyn, when I was living in the city was because of that same thing. I mean, it was nothing but Kennedy Fried Chicken, Chinese. If you didn't have a car, you had to,
rough.
It was tough. And then my daughter, she was, I couldn't bring her up in that. You know what I mean? Then that was when I was just starting out. I was really broke, basically. You know what I mean? But, I mean, Nipsey Hussle was don't know. I don't want to spin off into Nipsey or anything, but I feel like
a great man.
Yeah,
he was a great man.
Yeah,
he stood for something great. He was
absolutely
definitely a hero to his community, our people, and more communities, just from being inspiring of showing you could come from somewhere, not lose who you are, become something different, and then spread the knowledge and spread the love.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So he was a great man.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's why everybody feels it.
Will continue.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, absolutely. You mentioned something earlier that I appreciated, not jumping in, letting the younger generation sort of come through, not infringing on their greatness. I always complain to the older heads, because they don't bring up a new generation. Like, we got dope rappers, but we don't support them and we don't put them on. We want to jump on every record or whatever. Talk about how you feel about the current. Almost sometimes we go at each other.
Yeah. Well, I think the old heads definitely. Well, the youth have to respect what came before them and who paved the way.
Yeah.
But the older heads have to understand who's carrying the torch and respect that. And respect that it's something new and times are new. Times have changed. And fortunate enough, that's a young black man or a young brown man making money that could feed his family and get a couple dudes out the hood and give some job opportunities.
Right.
So I think it's and understanding it's a place and time where we could all fit in, because it's supposed to be hobby, job, career. If you're not really dedicated and nice, you won't make it to the career part. So don't hate on them. Let them get their money. Let them do what they're doing. And if they deserve it, they'll get there. Like, so either way, there's kind of room for everything. And the way hip hop has been, there's always been room for everything.
Absolutely.
I think that a lot of people, especially people in my age group or the older heads, get locked in on the golden era, because it was such a beautiful era where everything was really you had to be dope to be heard. So that time we focus on that a lot, and don't really pay attention to what happened exactly before the golden era. When you had tight pants,
right?
You had non-lyrical dudes,
crazy clothes,
crazy clothes. You had different type of artists with different type of content. Everybody wasn't nice,
right?
And I was a fan. I won't say their names because I would never disrespect them, but I was a fan of a lot of people who weren't nice. Like,
absolutely.
I like that movement. I liked a couple songs. I still bought the whole project. It just, I didn't hold them to the same criteria that I would hold them, or standard that I held a Rakim, Cool G, KRS, Kane, Chuck D, EPMD. They had a different standard, but there was a lot of people in between that. Like, Free Golden Era probably had as many one hit wonders as now.
Right. And golden era too. I mean, for real.
Golden era, you just didn't make it. Nobody outside of music, you was not talked about in the golden era. I didn't give a fuck whether it was streets, industry, studios, in the buildings. If you wasn't nice and you wasn't saying some shit,
right.
I didn't say you wasn't making money. I didn't say you wasn't relevant. I mean, you wasn't talked about. Like, you wasn't topic of conversation. Like, that wasn't.
See, I was a DJ, so I was hearing everything. And I was in like independent record radio situation. So we were playing everything, and then after a while we was like, yo, you go back and listen to those records, it's horrible, garbage, trash.
Because it was part of you just trying to be open-minded and show love to everybody. Right. But there was a time where you couldn't get on a mixtape if you wasn't nice.
Oh yeah, no question.
You couldn't even, like, that wasn't happening. So that was an over lyrical era. Like, like that was, we was blessed with an abundance of lyrics and abundance of great artists who came out, birthed from the movement that came before us, but had more insight of where we wanted to go. Times were more advanced than their times was, as times were more advanced than ours now. So I think you always have to embrace the youth and not to be funny, but when you think about it like this, I'm 4 years old. Hip hop's 45. How could you not embrace the youth? You gotta embrace every part of this. It's not even old yet. Like, not that old. It's like, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
If hip hop was a physical being, it still look good.
Right. Absolutely.
Like, you know what
real
I mean?
Talk. Yeah, real talk.
You know what I mean? So we have to embrace all parts of this and understand what's coming in new, but just hold on to the tradition. I never really worry, because I always tell people, like, I don't know when's the last time anyone referred to the best guy in this thing of ours as a non-lyrical dude.
Yeah,
I clearly don't remember. So we're in good shape. Like, you ask a kid right now who's the best, they're gonna say J. Cole, Kendrick, yada yada yada. Like, you know, but it'll be somebody with bars.
Right.
So it's in good shape.
That's true. That's true.
It's in good shape.
That's true. The competitiveness. Well, you just hit it on the head right there. But then you were in the midst of the Biggie era.
Yeah.
Which is a whole nother situation competitively. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
I mean, even Jay, before Big passed, was almost an afterthought. No disrespect, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like the truth, you know what I'm saying? And that's not fair to say, but it was just
an afterthought.
Right,
Biggie
that's
just
not true. You know what I mean?
I think the greats of New York was, at the time for solo artists, was Biggie, Hov and Nas.
Right, yeah.
I think just Big was having his MVP seasons.
Yeah, right. And he had Pop too.
I would put it like that. He was having, and he was having an MVP season. And you got to understand, Big brought a different criteria to solo artists at that time.
Yeah.
As far as his image and upholding it and being proud of it and just putting it in a way you know that it hasn't been put before.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So he was so bold and audacious in his style and his lyricism that you had to pay attention.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I always look at them three, like, because I look at it like Nas is the student of the greats I just mentioned, far as we all are, far as Rakim, Cool G, Kane, KRS, embodied in a dude who's seen the streets from people our age. Now that's infusing more up-to-date data within the information. So he paved the way for Big, Hov, us, Mob, everyone as far as setting that standard of bringing that thought pattern and delivery as far as what we do now. And then Hov took it to a different angle as far as bringing a businessman mind state and talking about the evils and the ins and out of basically somebody who's getting money in a certain way. So they was all bringing different parts of the thing. So it's all a pie in hip hop. You can't have one without the other.
Right.
Like, you can't really, if you take one out, it's not New York hip hop anymore. There's no real golden era, but that's what pretty much made it the golden era. You have so many. Then you have the Wu. Then you have Mob. Then you have us. Then you have, like, so it was a time of where if you can't rhyme potent, you don't even exist.
Right.
As far as the pulse of the city. So I believe, like, you know what I mean? I think Big was just his style. He was great in a lot of styles, and that's what made it good too. To where, as you could say, most of us, even the nice, even the elite, even me, I'm very gifted when it comes to going hard, going conscious, mixing up the both with street. And then you have some people who's very gifted with being fly, being witty in a slick way, being bold in their flamboyance.
Right.
Then you have some that's good with the ladies, consciousness, giving thought. Then I think Big embodied it all. And then he really showed his ass when he showed he can adapt to new styles such as Bone Thugs. So it was, and then setting a double album as a sophomore album. So I think within MC's minds, it's always a bar that's set, or a certain way you go, or a certain way you carry yourself, which makes you dangerous. And relevant.
We had Steve Lobel in here yesterday, the legendary manager. He managed Bone Thugs, and you know he's affiliated. I mean, well, not affiliated, but he's met Big. Blah blah blah. We talked about Tekashi 6ix9ine a little bit, and he mentioned Tekashi when he gets out, which may be soon. It's not going to ruin his career. It always baffles me how the rules have changed so soon. And he's from Brooklyn. I'm weirded out by that a little bit. Like, quite frankly, how things have changed so quickly. What are your thoughts on him, the state of the game in that regard, the rules?
Well, with that's why I always tell the kids, nerd up now. you really wasting your time trying to do some gangster shit unless it's really solid and a guy can come out appearing like he's a gangster and not really be a gangster, just stand by gangsters, and then the gangsters will let that happen nowadays. So there's nothing you could really say because they code and they code of ethics. You can't. That's when you just got to say I got to be a grown person, mind my business, and as a young person you got to be saying I'm a young person. I got to nerd up and avoid that because there's no code within that. Like you know what I mean? I think Tekashi is someone who probably shouldn't have been. I think he's a star, and when he was being a star, I think they should have segued out of the gang. Not out the gang, but out the mentality of just saying you gotta ride when you're making so much money. But I think, but doing that and how he was carrying himself, and no one really checking him, had to be turmoil within his camp. Or he had to have an OG that was probably thinking about money more than what was going to happen in the long run, and it just doesn't pay. And he probably still have a bunch of people following because a lot of these kids didn't have to come up the way prior generations did, where you couldn't say and do certain things in the street. Like rap's just a different thing in general altogether, like with just far as it is with survival and the way you go about things and how people embrace you and how you got to roll in certain towns and cities and club. Like back then it was very dangerous for you anyway, like you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I think that with that being said, it's no place for fake gangster shit. Not in music, not in real life. Like you know what I'm saying? Like pick a side. Like you're either gonna be a real gangster or leave it alone, and there's nothing wrong with just leaving it alone. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, why it's acceptable now. Like you know what I mean? Why people, there's no code. If there's no code, there's nothing to really for him to live by or standard. And then like me, I've told you my whole life since my intro into hip hop, from being a solo artist, I'm a gangster and a gentleman. There's a certain code you have to live by with being both. Like you know what I mean? That's for me personally. Like you know what I mean? But there's a point now where I really stick to my gentleman code and don't even think about my gangster code because nobody else is living by the gangster code. And that keeps me more of a gangster because I know to be a gentleman and not fuck with and tussle with or get confused or trapped up with somebody who's not going to carry it out the same way I would carry it out. Like if I have to be worried about you, or I got to worry about my living, surviving, breathing, going around a corner, then I'm going to be scared, and that's going to make my gangster come out, and I'm going to be on point, and I'm going to do what I got to do to survive if that's the case. If not the case, I'm going to be the wise and being a gentleman and go, I'm not even going to tangle with this guy because he's going to either tell on me, you know what I'm saying, want to shoot and still tell on me, or get in a position where he's acting like something he's not, and then there's nobody that's going to stick to the code and say anything when something wrong goes or happens with me and I'm just sitting in jail. So I think with that being said, you have to nerd up and be gangster for the right shit, which is your survival and the survival of your family, your loved ones, and your community, and that's no matter what you are. Like you know what I'm saying? I saw you refer to yourself as a nerd first. Always. That's always cool. Always. I prefer to be. I think people come up in the hood. Like this is one thing I think why I've always been able to rhyme and got me to rhyming too. Is I think people get around certain people and they're scared to talk about things other than what other people are talking about, or they're scared to say their interest because everybody's not interested, or it doesn't seem like the traditional hood black thing to do. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not that type of guy. I watch Animal Planet all day. I watch Nat Geo all day. I watch somebody build some. I watch the furthest, wildest things. I'll try to learn things. Like you know what I'm saying? I like cartoons, I like animation, I like books, I like laughing, I like
that's dope.
I like wordscapes.
I'm guilty. You know, I'm guilty.
Crossword puzzles, electronic ones. Like I'm into anything I like 80s white rock music. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't think you should let anybody dictate who you are because of where you're from. I've always liked books, like learning. Like I think a lot of us feel like you get around your homies and you just gotta ride with what everybody's doing, like you know what I mean. I like wearing what I want to wear, like doing the shit I want to do, and I won't ever let anybody dictate that for me. Never have, never will.
Heard the album, you said you harder than Iron Man and Vision. Why What? I don't know. Vision.
Yeah, all the Visions. Vision's hard.
I know he's hard, but
you don't think Vision's hard?
No. Vision's hard, but
he
died though. Like, and then Iron Man, they both did actually. Now that yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I was like, why he picked those two? I was curious to that. But you don't know how to answer that. It was just, I don't know.
Vision is a stick man. It's his creation. Like before, you know.
Right.
Vision before Vision was Vision.
True.
He was in a computer.
Right.
Then he became a being. So in a context of being that, I'm even harder than the thought formed.
Right. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like to think a little far out and go a little extra, but I'm a big Marvels guy.
Word.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I just think, and I actually said all the Avengers after.
Yeah, I heard that too. I was like, this is audacious.
Yeah.
Word.
That's a hard crew.
I had a crazy, before we even established this interview, I had a strong, hardcore debate on Facebook, and I was just asking people, and they got on me. I was like, yo, why y'all love Big and hate Rick Ross? Now I know they two different people. I know they completely two different artists, but I'm gonna plead my case right now. I feel, and I didn't actually plead my case on Facebook. It was too much. But I feel like Rick Ross has established himself as an artist.
Very much so. Ross is a dope artist.
Yeah.
I don't think you should compare him to Big though.
I wasn't comparing him.
Big, and when you hear him in a sentence,
I left it vague.
It's like now you're comparing him because he's big and he's flashy, or because other than that, why are you comparing him? That's like, even if you're not comparing him or saying they in comparison, Ross is a great on his own for what he's accomplished in his body of work. Well, and I think maybe because of style, you want to compare his flamboyancy in the way sometimes he gives a big appearance or.
But he's comparing himself to Big too. He's
a big fella.
But he said reincarnate. I can't remember.
People compare themselves to Pop.
That's true.
People always have. I think him as a student of the game and being a guy that's in the bars.
Right.
And then being a bigger guy that he used to be.
All right, so
how would he not focus on Big? Like, you know what I'm saying? How could he have not? That's what I was saying about the power of Big's influence, period. Like, imagine what Big did for Rick Ross back in the days when it's a thought in his head of being a rhymer. Yeah. How Big had to influence him. That's what I said makes him special. And I think a lot of us, Big's the criteria you should compare yourself to. Pac's the criteria you should, in the bar that you should want to reach and compare yourself to, or to say, at least, I'm nice. I think they set such a high standard of being a great artist, entertainer, and then just personality and hip hop. That is something for you. It's not too many things to set a standard to. Yeah. Especially for Ross. Who else would he be saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I don't think it's fair. I think Ross it's not fair because I think he's established himself as Ross. Yeah. Enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? That Rose's he's made his mark. Yeah. You know, he's done what he's done. He's earned his stripes. Like, you know, he's amongst the elite when it comes to
it just makes me mad when people don't give him his credit, because I'm like, yo, y'all, I know there's a difference. There's no questioning that.
Well, Ross, he's flamboyant. Yeah. So in a world where everybody's not living flamboyant and a person may be fucking have a Con Ed bill in their back pocket or got to work a double shift. Yeah. They might not appreciate his lyricism because of his content and what he's saying. Not that he's just all flamboyant. Yeah. But he paints a big picture when he raps. He paints I like him because he always paints a vivid picture, and I could appreciate a man who could paint a vivid picture. Yeah. And then so, you know, there's many reasons why many people don't hold many things against many people. A lot of artists get that shit. Facts. Like, you know what I'm saying? To me, like you were saying earlier, like to me, Royce and Black Thought set a standard for bars that even bar dudes try to duck. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Even dudes with bars like want to duck them too, because they go hard. Like they set a pace. So I think this hip hop thing of ours has different categories and different fittings and different the elite have many different styles. Like I feel like I'm dope because I could rhyme with somebody like Ross.
Yeah.
And then the next day rhyme with somebody, or same day rhyme with somebody like Black Thought.
Right.
So I've molded my style and skill set to be able to.
Yeah, man. You really have gone with everybody. Prodigy. We were here with Sean Price's wife the other day. Yeah. I mean, everybody.
So I try to have my style blend in, you know what I mean. So everybody's different in the approach and the way they go about it and the way they lay it out. So you know what I mean. I think Ross has earned his stripes enough to just be Ross and not be compared to Big. Although I can understand the comparison with both of them having rich bars, being big dudes, fast life, pretty looks. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So I get it, but
well, he's played it up a little bit too. And then Diddy tried to get him and Nicki at one point. Yeah. You know, it felt like to me he was trying to recreate the Lil Kim Big movement, or
I don't know if you're trying to recreate it. Sometimes something works, and if you have two components that can actually work it, why not try to work it? Like, you know what I mean? It's like let me see what it's like. It's like a basketball team.
Yeah. Okay.
This player could play this position well. This player, he ain't that player.
Yeah. Right.
But he could play the position. Like, you know what I'm saying? All right. It's pretty much like that.
What's the locks? The status of the locks?
Fire coming.
Yeah, because y'all had
fire coming.
Y'all had that joint last year.
Yeah, we got a documentary and an album coming, so get prepared for it. It's really
a documentary on the group telling the history.
On the group, yeah.
Okay, what, give us the exclusive.
Nah, I ain't giving y'all nothing. That's enough.
Okay.
That was enough right there. All right. Some real dope people talking about our history and what we mean to the game. And
okay.
You'll hear our story pretty much.
Yeah, man. I'm putting my.
And the album's crazy. The album's definitely crazy. You probably hear something from the album within a couple weeks. Any day now, actually.
Okay.
On the lock. So looking forward to that too.
This year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
You don't got no more. Nothing else. That's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough. All right.
That's enough.
All right.
It's enough. I mean, I think it's just. I think one thing in hip hop, a lot of people ask us is how we remain to be the loyalist group and never let our shit come out.
Yeah.
Never let our differences on whatever we disagree about go along or let anyone see it.
Right.
I think the documentary will give you some keys and answers to that on what makes us like that and what makes us bar machines.
Okay. Bar machines.
Yeah.
I like that. That's what's up. Okay. All right. Yo, y'all be cutting off Sheik's verse on one of them. What's one of my favorite songs from y'all? I forget where Sheik. Oh man. It's from.
She cuts it off. It's cutting off, and she's doing the cutting off.
It's the joint. Oh my god.
When we perform it?
Yeah, Sheik spazzed on that. I can't even call it right now. But I saw you at, I think, Irving Plaza. Plaza.
Sometimes we like to.
I hate it. I hate when y'all do that though, man. Because I just want to do that whole verse.
You gotta tell Sheik. That's
all right. I'm gonna tell
Sheik and Tech.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. D Block Europe. What's that?
Yeah. Shout out to Kiss. That's Kiss's boys.
Okay.
Yeah, they get busy, man. You'll be hearing more of them too.
Okay. All right.
You'll be hearing more of them. We got a couple.
Yeah.
Tricks up our sleeves.
Okay. All right. Now,
they the whole family's boys, but Kiss brought them to the family.
Say it again.
They the whole D Block's boys, but because I said they Kiss boys.
Yeah.
They are Kiss boys, but they the whole fans boys, but Kiss brought them to the family.
Got you. Let's talk about, this is something I've always wanted to know from you. I didn't Google it. I didn't look up if you answered the question. Nothing. But one of my favorite songs that you have is "I'm Black."
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite songs. You know, I always have gravitated to the conscious type of hip hop. Still do. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I love everything, but you know, that's what got me, like this with it.
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite songs from you. In fact, I was like, yo, this is gonna change everything. This is gonna change everything. We're gonna get some balance back.
Yeah.
But then there were rumors around that song and what happened and everything.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Well, I think what happened was before I actually did my solo album, I think they didn't have me to do much sales or make much noise. Mm-hmm. And then I think with Good Times Get High with Swiss, It basically got me to like 800 or some thousand, but I went to jail right as the album was out. Like, you know what I mean? So I think they kind of didn't really understand my mixtape following, how much work I was putting in. I think they didn't know my fan base.
Right.
I didn't have a fan base that they could literally see. Like, you know what I'm saying? So with the release of Gangsta and the Gentleman album, my fan base pretty much showed up.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
They showed up. So then I think they kind of, after I came from jail, they had an idea of how I could work and the things I could work. With me getting out of jail, the main thing was on my mind was, you know, that was my first solo album. Of course, the Deluxe album, that was my first solo album. My conscience was on my mind as to where my conscience was.
Yeah.
Like, it was like I didn't forget I was black, but it's like I'm forgetting black issues, and I'm making money now. Like, my whole life has changed to a point where I got cars, I own shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm living pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm still in the streets, but I'm forgetting about just the consciousness, and at the end of the day, I'm still black, and all of the things that go on, and all the strife and struggle of black people. So in jail, that was the only I didn't rhyme the whole time I was in jail. The only line I had in my head was, I'm black, whether I'm poor or rich. I just knew I was going to say that on something. Because I don't write my rhymes, so it would have been weird to be sitting there writing this story. And I lay off a feeling, so it was like, I'm in here, I'm going to just get this shit over with and not get in that zone. Like, you know what I mean? So I had that line in my head, so when I got out, I was like, nah, this is something I gotta do. This is something in my chest that I gotta do. And then I kind of seen understanding politics from, you can't market and pitch on black the same way you can I get high, so they didn't really understand it. So I was like, yo, boom, check this. I got the, I think the song was Favorite Drug I had at the time.
Right.
It had the same sample T.I. had.
Okay.
And I was telling them to use it.
Okay.
I was like, boom, just drop this.
Right.
And then Black History Month's gonna roll around.
Right.
And we're gonna drop that, and it all worked, and I dropped something hard. Then they see the play. It was like, I'm Black was too out there at that time, I think, for that, especially what they wanted me to do. So it just didn't work. But fortunately enough, I got to sit down with the label as far as Rough Riders and Interscope, and, you know, express that I'm an artist that's never going to be in one box. Like, I'm a very emotional guy. One day I may say something very crazy, next day I may say something very nice. Next day I'm all over the place. So I don't want to be in a box of having to have people that don't know how to work with me work me.
But did they blackball you though? Did they? Were you? I mean,
if I got blackballed, I would have got hit. I think that song was just.
That
song was kind of.
They squashed it.
I almost lost my career, I could say, off of it. Wasn't a blackball,
but for the people,
it's almost like you kind of don't exist. And then when your singles out there, you like, if I didn't know how to work the mixtape scene and I ain't have credibility as far as an MC already, you wouldn't call it a blackball, but I could have got lost in the matrix. I don't want to say they blackballed me because they didn't stop me from playing anywhere else and getting anything played. I think that song.
But they didn't support it.
They didn't support it.
Right.
I wouldn't call it a blackball. It's like they blacked it out.
Right, they blacked it out.
It was a blackout.
It always bothered me because the people loved that record. It was a blackout. It was a world. Yeah.
It was a blackout.
That bothers me, man.
But then it started, actually, this is like the first Black History Month I didn't hear the song.
Right.
This past one. Every Black History Month, it's a bed, or I hear it somewhere, or I hear a team play it, or... So I know the spirit of the song is in there. I'm pretty sure this was a kind of flimsy Black History Month this year.
It was ruined.
It was horrible.
It was horrible. It was the worst.
Like, you know, I look at it as it shouldn't be Black History Month, though. We have the history to do with the whole planet and the world, so really every month is Black History Month, to be real. Every day.
Absolutely.
Like, we contributed a lot to the
we made this
civilization, so like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, civilization. True indeed. You also have the hit record with Jada, We Gonna Make It. Yeah. Which is kind of on the same vibe. Yeah. But the Black Lives Matter kind of adopted that, as well as Kendrick's We Gonna Be Alright, same thing. How does it feel to have those type of anthems that, you know, again, right now we in a state where we need each other. We gotta work together more now than ever.
I mean, I think you need that. I think music heals people. Like, you know, music definitely heals people, calms them, makes them happy. Yeah, brings them to a spot of feeling neutral when things feel really bad. So I think we definitely need healing music, like, you know, out, and I think it feels pretty good. But I think in general, there's a lot of people who make healing music. It's just not on the forefront. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't get that media love. It doesn't get that. It doesn't come with all that flash and pop. So it's not always gets the love. But then when it's needed, it's there.
Okay,
it's there.
So I've been with you. I was there when you got out of Rikers. I went
Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Oh, you mean Rikers to speak? I ain't never did no time at Rikers. I did time at Valhalla.
Okay, I was there when you came out of there. My bad. It's a blur. It's been a minute. And then I did go with you to Rikers to speak. So I'm probably mixing them two together. So there's the other side of you as well. How do you manage that? I mean, I don't you know. I know what I do. I de-escalate and I personally, I don't want no problems. Like the old, like, not that I was ever like out in the street like that, but you know, I was a different person 15 years ago, and that dude might not de-escalate. You know what I mean? How do you manage those parts of you? Do you meditate now? I know you work out a lot. What do you?
I always meditated because I meditate to get the rounds. I just started practicing it more in my regular life, regular things, like, you know. But it's growth, maturity, understanding what point I'm at in life, and just waking up, trying to have good energy and spread spread good energy. For me personally, I look at myself like I'm 180 negative, 180 positive. Okay. I just try to stay on the positive side and on the light as much as I can, and acknowledge that. As long as I acknowledge and understand that holidays right there somewhere. At any given moment, the holiday is like, I just want to duck that guy. And I know I want to duck him, and I know why I want to duck him. And then I often, really, be honest with you, I remember the smell of jail. Like I always, anytime I feel like I'm losing, and I remember how much I paid in lawyers, lawsuits, and then actually that I really don't like the feel and smell of jail, and it keeps me in a calm state. And plus, if I'm gonna do something to somebody, it's gonna be because I'm really scared and I feel like it's worth it. It got to be initiated. If it's not like spur of the moment, you got to do what you got to do. But if like I got to get into something and I got to mentally think about it, you have to be kind of worthy of me jumping out the window. Like I don't like I've done
too much.
I've been in situations with gangsters that haven't been handled like a gangster, and not on my part. So that's a learned lesson to say it's better to be wise and nerd up. It's easier. It makes my day more relaxed. I can take my time. Younger, my ego and pride would force me to not be able to say I do not want a problem. I just couldn't get it out. I actually wanted the problem, would be gung-ho to jump to it. As I get maturity and understanding myself and just wanted to be walking more in the light, I know me saying to you I don't want a problem doesn't mean I won't handle the problem. I'm just being honest with you, telling you I don't want a problem, which is pretty much growing and mature and more manly than acting like I want to get into something I actually don't want to get into. So I'm smart enough to be able to use my words to first try to say, all right, let's think about this. Let's logically say what you don't like about what I did. I could say what, vice versa. And we can either meet in a thing, or we have to be wise enough to tell you, like, this is something I'm not going to speak about because it's going to go somewhere I don't want to go. And not saying I'm going to be the winner out the situation, but I'm man enough to say, all right, Chuck, we got a problem. I don't think I can speak to you about this. One of us is going to die and one of us is going to go to jail. I don't know which one is which. I think it's real gangsters can understand that. Like real people who know the code kind of get in, and it's like, all right, this is going to be, I'm not saying I'm going to always be the winner. But it's gonna be ugly for both of us if we got to get into this. Like, and I'd rather not. I think people could kind of appreciate that, and you got to appreciate that for yourself, because why the fuck would I? Got a job, I make money, I got a family. I want to smoke weed, I want to get high, I want to enjoy my day, I want to like, why the fuck do I want to just go out and and get into something, but I'll handle it if it comes my way.
You were a part of two movements, Bad Boy and Rough Riders.
Yeah.
And DMX was a big part of Rough Riders part.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with him now? You got, I mean,
I haven't seen X, but he called me twice. I was supposed to meet up with him, but I didn't get to see him yet.
Okay.
I love X.
Yeah.
I've loved X before he was on Rough Riders or the thing. Mm-hmm. He's been a legend in my town before he even made it on.
Yeah.
You know, he's his work ethic and his drive and his bars has always been an inspiration. Yeah. And the fire he puts inside what he does. So I always wish him the best, and can't wait to see him. Definitely gonna knock some joints out.
Good.
That's what we do.
Okay, all right. Oh, gosh, the locks, everything. So what's next for you? I mean, what do we have? I know we talked about most of it, but what's coming up? What else? Are you touring with this album?
Yeah, I'm definitely starting to tour. I'm gonna drop an EP with my son. Shout out to my son Noah, aka Prophet.
Okay.
So we're gonna drop something.
Father's Day. What are y'all doing?
Lots coming.
Y'all celebrate Father's Day? You and your son?
Yeah, we chill.
Yeah.
We chill.
Yeah.
We chill out.
Just hang out.
Yeah, we just cool. He usually buys me some pothead related shit. Says Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Yeah.
Sometimes he makes me something to eat.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever, and I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty cool.
How was it going through maybe the teenage years or so? What were some of the rough times in your relationship?
My son's he's just in school a little bit, not much, because he always scored pretty high, but just I would say in the fact with my roughest thing was understanding he didn't want to go to college, to be honest. Be honest with you, because he always pretty much got good grades.
Yeah.
He didn't get into a couple incidences in school, but that was it. Like, nothing too much. He's pretty much a laid back dude.
Okay.
Real smart.
What's
real
your
cool.
fatherhood wise? You have any laws or any rules around that? Any wisdom?
Nah, we live by code. Or for everybody else, or for myself and him.
Both.
Just respect the household, respect the self, respect what we stand for as a family.
Yeah.
And be a better man than me. Work to be a better man than me. Like try to use your brain, use your heart.
Yeah.
Treat people kind.
Yeah.
Which is all things he pretty much does. So we pretty. I kick it with my son. It's like it was my father's son, but we do Marvel movies together.
Yeah, that's dope.
We chill, man.
Yeah.
Cool. We do music together.
Okay. Yeah.
He produced Raw Dreams on Greatest of All Times. He produced on Nickelback, Dimebag. He produced on Beloved.
Okay.
He produced on Vibes with Burner.
Word.
So
I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen to those joints.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Shout out to he got me shout out to Animals MMA and Yakas. I go do that. I go do that with him now.
You do MMA now?
Yeah, I do a little Muay Thai. I'm trying to get into a little jiu-jitsu, but I like Muay Thai a little more. But as a child, he was in karate and taekwondo and boxing, and I didn't get to do it with him.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm getting older, need a new workout, something I could do with the son. Then he's asking me my regiments, Muay Thai. Next day I do Pilates with the wife.
Nice.
Go do Pilates. I juice up. Maintain a plant-based diet. I smoke weed, get the room dark, make my rhymes. Stop by the juice bars, work pharmacy for life. Write scripts with poobs. Work on books. That's pretty much how my system goes.
Yo, man, that's dope, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah,
I definitely salute you, man. Like the whole Nipsey thing, it makes me think of you, because you really living it in the same vein. So I want to celebrate you.
A lot of people do. I think a lot of people like you have your Trader Truths.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You have your David Banners.
Yeah, real talk.
You have your My Sons.
My Son.
And there's many more who's actually out, Talib, Immortal Technique. Dead Prez.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who's out here speaking on stand up for something. You know what I'm saying? And hip hop, and you really just gotta pay attention. Even your young dudes, you got your Kendricks, you got your Coles, you got dudes making music and with messages in them that you can take from and apply to your family and your community, or just look on how they're moving in general and say, these are people that don't have to give their time or their effort or their energy. Yeah. There's a lot of names I'm pretty sure I'm missing.
Yeah.
So like many, but I'm just saying what's right on top of my head or mine, that people giving back and giving to the community and doing things with their time and energy to say, hey, this is what we're doing. We're trying to give back to our people. So I think there's a lot of us who do it, and us as a people, we don't recognize or give each other our flowers while we're alive. And it's not about getting the flowers, it's us actually recognizing what's happening and more people joining in. So it's not so much something that we have to applaud someone for. It should be the norm now. We all trying to give back and trying to take care of. It's not something that should get the nod like, yo, you know, it should get the nod like salute your work, but it's not something that should be rare. And that there's so many, the people who's doing it don't even get the nod, or you understand, or it should be more of those people I named doing, adding more things, and not for your own sake, for your own community's sake, just to say here's a small way for me to give back to the people, not your personal community, but your personal community and the hip hop community in general.
All right, yo, I appreciate you, brother.
Love, Chuck.
Yep, salute.
No doubt, salute, bro.